Mr. Madam Chair, in this debate today, there is a first principle that everybody has to agree on. First of all, in a democratic nation, everybody has to agree that the majority always wins, and the majority survival is always the first prioritization that happens in a democratic nation. Using this first principle, I would like to explain more about our arguments and stance in this debate today. So first of all, the motion that we're debating under in this debate today is about this House to prioritize people based on intelligence when it comes to surviving and when it comes to taking people in a limited spaceship to limited space. And I would also like to define the motion before I move on to this argument. First of all, we will define intelligent people as people that are resourceful and able to control space technology easily and that can contribute and help other people in survival. And by prioritizing, we define this as the first, we're going to prioritize the patriotic and intelligent people, and later the government that actually has leadership and that can keep people from living and surviving in the space. And I would like to now talk about our arguments in this debate today. First of all, our first argument is about justification to do this. Our second argument is about the government's obligation to protect the majority, which is also a first principle. And our final argument, which will be spoken from our next most capable Deputy Prime Minister, will be talking about the benefits in our policy. And now I would like to move on and further more explain to our first arguments. Imagine that you are a person in a spaceship for survival. People that don't think and are not intelligent as the people that are intelligent will not know what to do. Think about it. You are in space and you don't even know how to control a spaceship. You don't even know how to control a spaceship, and even if you arrive to space, there will be machines such as radars and etc. that most citizens do not even know how to use. And also there will be almost no hope to find a new planet to set on and also have a better life. So we think that actually for this to happen, we actually need to have intelligent people to first prioritize and use them as the best way to survival. We think that actually these people that are not as intelligent, they don't know how to use the machines. They don't know how to even control the spaceship. So they will have a lack of survival and they will eventually die more quickly than the people that are intelligent. On the other hand, while intelligent people have a total opposite case. The intelligent people, first of all, they know how to control a spaceship and they know how to use the machines, so they have more hope and better hope that they can use, and that better hope they can have so that they can set into another planet and also have a better survival than when you have a survival with these people that are not as intelligent. And also these people will be able to use the machines, and also they will have more hope than the people that are not as intelligent. And we would like to move on to our next argument about the first principle, the government's obligation to protect majority. Throughout centuries and decades, the government always, as in a democratic society, had the policy to save majority of the people. Imagine that there were 1,000 people. Would you save 600 people or would you save 400 people? According to the democratic nation's obligation, you need to save the majority, which is the 600 people. And according to our first argument about justification, we think that actually the safer way and the way that the people can survive better is our policy. When people that are intelligent, even though there may be a little bit of discrimination, for survival, for the majority, we actually need this to happen because this is more important. And even though people may sacrifice, they need to help the society actually survive and become a better society, even when these kind of important and dangerous things happen outer space. So we think that actually, on the other hand, when the people that are not as intelligent, they get to go to space, and then the government loses their obligation and cannot fulfill their obligation as the government. They need to be able to survive, they need to be able to help, they need to be able to help the other citizens from survival and help the majority of people. However, when the dumb people and not as smart and intelligent people actually go to space, there will be less and lack of survival, which will actually not be able to fulfill the obligation of the government. And because, like I told you in our first principle, the obligations of the government is to actually protect the majority, even though the minority have to be sacrificed. And for all these reasons, I'm very proud to propose, and we think that the proposition takes this debate home. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. The world is ending tomorrow and the government says that there is only one spaceship that will carry people by the standard of intelligence. Is this justifiable? No, it is totally principally wrong. The reason why we are debating today is because each side is making a policy that can benefit the society when they go to another place. Mr. Madam Chair, we agree intelligence is important, but it should not be the first standard that should be prioritized. So now I will talk about our counter policy. Our counter policy is that we are going to equally calculate about all of those, about many standards, including personality, aptitude, gender, cooperation, leadership, and etc. We think it is principally wrong to prioritize intelligence. These are the standards that help compose a society which is capable of being developed and reproduced.
Yeah.
We need people with good personality, good aptitude, and all other subjects as well. So before going on to our arguments, I'll first rebut to the previous speaker. The previous speaker stated that people will not know what to do when they're dumb, and we should take smart people because they can control better of the spaceships. But we think that we are also going to think about the intelligence as well as a standard, but we are just not going to prioritize this standard. And also I'm going to explain it in my first and my second arguments about why we should not prioritize intelligence. And my second rebuttal is that they stated that it is the government's obligation to protect the majority. Yes, we think this too. But we think intelligence is important too, but it is not going to be a good society when there is only intelligent people as a prioritized standard. We think that there will be lots of corruption if they only prioritize intelligence, and the government's obligation is to also make a happier society for the people. And we think that our policy can make the happier society. So now I will go on to my arguments. So my first argument is, why is it not justifiable to implement their policy? We believe that intelligence should never be prioritized. If you look in the status quo, presidents and class presidents are not voted by prioritizing their intelligence. We look at their personality, their aptitude, and many other factors equally. We tell you that 60 years ago, before North Korea was formed, it was an intelligent group of people that led the society. And this actually led to a communist society. We think that in this country, the majority of people were abusively ruled by the minority, so we believe that in their policy, they are going to make these kinds of societies as well. And we believe that meritocracy is important as well. But in the status quo, we are not prioritizing meritocracy every time, so their policy with only meritocracy is going to make an egoistic society. And also we believe that just because the people are dumb doesn't mean that we should kill these people. And my second argument is about why are these factors important about our counter policy. So we think that personality, aptitude, and many other factors is important. So in the status quo regarding the fields of education, personality is a significant part regards to the part of the education. So we think that personality is a way, the personality as being the standard is a way of making a good relationship between people, and we can make a society with good cooperation that can prevent fights and the wars. And we think that we should maximize the happiness and benefits in the society, and we think that our counter policy can ensure the happiness and the benefits by the society. And we think that we should also take the utilitarian calculus because we are maximizing the happiness and benefits of the future society by having a standard of these personalities as well. And also we think that we should think about the standard of aptitude because it allows the people to endure hardship, and it can make a better society which would contain people with self-motivation. And we think other factors such as different gender, creativity, etc. is important as well because it will reproduce children, which is an important factor, and it will also prevent wars, and it will create a developed and a cooperative society. And what have I said today? I've stated that their policy is not justifiable, and I've also stated that thinking about the other standards equally, which is personality, aptitude, cooperation, etc., is an important factor. And because of these reasons, I am very glad to oppose for this motion.
Our proposition strongly believes that the spaceships should prioritize people based on the intelligence, but since the opposition have proposed a counter policy that we should also calculate the people's ability towards the personality and the attitudes of the person, and they thought that these kinds of factors are such important in choosing people to send in the spaceship, fine. We'll include this trace tool, and we will state the definition of intelligence that we will use, and we will also include the parts of personality, cooperation, or attitude towards picking the people who will go on the spaceship. We will try to include this trait because the opposition is thinking of such factors are so important. We think that this trait should be part of intelligence and should be part of the process while picking the people that should be sent on the spaceships. Also, as our Prime Minister has stated in his first speech about the prioritizing part and definition. Patriots and governments who have devoted his whole life in the society also has leadership that is nice, like the opposition wants, but they're also intelligent at the same time, which we think that the policy of the government achieves the goal of the opposition as well as more benefits, and the benefits of our policy will be explained in our third argument, which is about the benefits of our policy. So now let me explain the benefits of our policy. We, the proposition, strongly believe that we should prioritize the intelligent people first. And we want to argue how this will actually bring benefit to those who are actually riding in the spaceship. Don't you think that if really people who cannot even control anything in the spaceship won't be able to do anything? We believe that even though the world comes up to an end tomorrow, if there are a limited number of people who can survive in this situation, and we want to state that at least the people who are in the spaceship should be able to survive. But people who are riding the spaceship, if the people who are riding the spaceship does not know anything based on how to control it or how on the spaceship, we believe it is a failure, even saving the people in the spaceship.
Joanna.
If it'll benefit these people, imagine if intelligent people were not prioritized in the situation. What kind of benefit is the opposition seeing in their policy? We believe that our way to actually prioritize the people based on the intelligence will at least know how to control, and the governments who are devoted their lives in the actual society should advantage towards, because since they have leadership and they also have the intelligence at the same time as what the opposition seems to be wanting at the same time. So today I've explained what the proposition's policy will actually benefit from, which was that at least the people who are riding the spaceship should benefit and survive, since there are limited people who can ride the spaceship. When we think that this problem is more urgent when it comes to limitation in numbers of people who can survive, and we think that the intelligence of people should also include the trait that the opposition really wants, which is attitudes, personalities, and cooperation. So we think that we should also. Then, if what the opposition is really wanting is that we will also calculate the personalities, cooperation, and the attitudes of the person, while intelligence is the main factor that we will try to calculate in this situation. So for these reasons, I'm more than proud to propose. Thank you.
Madam and Mr. Speaker, we think that team government is prioritizing they think that driving until the planet is more important than making the healthy society when they go to the other planet. We think that, let's say that if we follow their policy, there will be intelligent people who drive fantastically until the planet. Well, we think that this is not more important than making a healthy society when we go to the planet. Let's say that they drive well, but when they go to the planet, then we think that this will not prioritize them because they can't make a healthy society, according to our LO speech and what I will tell you today. Well, our LO clearly told you why their policy is not justified and why other things such as personality or leadership are more important than intelligence. And they also told us that then they will follow our policy, but the difference between our policy and their policy is that they prioritize intelligence more than the other factors, but we prioritize the personality and the aptitude and the leadership more than the intelligence. So we think that there is a clear. Well, thank you, sir. We think that there is a clear difference between our policy and their policy. And also, they told us about the benefits that they will control the spaceship well, but because this motion said that this will happen, and because driving until the planet is not more important than making a healthy society. And even though we say that they do drive well, but we think that when we go to the this doesn't make going to the planet valuable, because they won't make a happy life and build a healthy society, which we think that is more important than driving well to the planet. And also, our LO clearly told you why they are not justified to prioritize intelligence more than the personality, and why other things such as personality is more important than other factors such as intelligence. And also, they did not engage on our. Yes, sir.
Because in our policy, we already stated that the people that are patriots, the people that devoted their lives to the government, we believe that they also have leadership that can actually lead the people to have a better society. What do you think about that?
Yes, we agree that if you say that you are going to pick people who have leadership, they will lead in the new planet. But for example, in North Korea, there are a lot of intelligent people, and they have leadership to lead that country. But do you think this is a healthy society? We can't put a negative side that Kim Jong-un doesn't have leadership. Well, he has leadership, and we think that even though he has leadership, we think that this is not going to make a healthy society. And to go on what I was saying, I will go on to my arguments that tell you why making a good society is important and what makes a good society. Well, a spirit of the good society is not a society that is technologically developed, and it's not everything is not important when we drive to the planet. For example, North Korea, they are a developed country, and they have the best technology to build nuclear weapons, and they also have the leadership. But we think that this is not a healthy society. And also, for example, the Nazis had the best weapons, and Adolf Hitler also group was very intelligent. But we think that this is not a healthy society, and it's because they are not cooperative, and they don't respect each other, and they have no sense of law. And these are the problems that happens when they only pick with intelligence and make the personality or leadership as a second factor. And that is why we think that the aptitude or cooperation and the leadership should be the first factor, not even the intelligence. And also, we say that they will not be happy when they go to the other planet because they are not going to be cooperative, and because those people are very own profit-driven people, the society will not be healthy. And this debate is very important. What side makes the society better when they go to the planet, because the world ends tomorrow? But we think that it's the team opposition that makes a persistent, cooperative, and a developed country, because we have people who are intelligent, which is the second factor, and we have people who have good personalities and who have leadership that can drive the country well. And because of these reasons that these people are going to make a good society, and because they are not justified, I'm very proud to oppose. Thank you.
So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Madam Speaker, I'm the government whip, and I'd like to move on straight forward to the rebuttals I'd like to give the team opposition today's debate. Ladies and gentlemen, they have been muttering about intelligent people for one speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, and they have talked about how intelligent people do not make a healthy society in any circumstances. But we have exactly one response back. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't think that they have full engagement about the patriots. We think that patriots are capable of a healthy society because they have the personality and leadership and when they arrive in such a planet. After all, ladies and gentlemen, the patriots were known for this quality before in society. So we think that these patriots will make a healthy society. So we want team opposition's whip to please answer this idea. And that is why I would like to move on straight forward to the clashes. The first clash that I found in today's debate was congregated to the idea of whether we are justified to do so and who helps the people when it comes to survival. So ladies and gentlemen, in today's debate, Team Proposition was clearly happy to propose that the idea of the government is actually justified. Since if there's a scenario of a limited space, we think that the survival rate of the spaceship to be accelerated, the intelligent people should be there to maneuver it. We think that the harm and consequence, if not follow Team Proposition policy, is that in the spaceship, they won't be able or competent to survive for long term. And ladies and gentlemen, we therefore want to prioritize those who can increase the chance for us to survive in the spaceship overall for the benefit, and that is what we are justifying today's debate. But ladies and gentlemen, they have said that our policy is not justifiable since this is principally wrong, and this is not the first standard that we should consider in today's debate. And they have talked about how we should also equally calculate the idea of cooperation, leadership, and also attitude. But ladies and gentlemen, if they really think that personality and leadership is the only difference made from their policy and our policy, we think that we will also allow this as a definition idea of intelligence too. So why are they complaining in today's way, ladies and gentlemen? No, thank you. We think that their policy and our policy is not mutually exclusive now if we allow this personality and leadership. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I'm more than proud to take the first clash home. The second clash that I found in today's debate was coordinated to the abstract of which policy is really fair in today's debate. So ladies and gentlemen, we think that if we allow only some of the citizens who did not devote and invest all of their life in the spaceship, it is not fair for those who put the society's needs and benefits more than those who didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, if the world ended tomorrow, we need to think about who helped the society boost up and those who gains the chance of making everyone survive in the spaceship, which is the intelligent people who have the capacity of controlling the spaceships and who also gets the leadership too. Ladies and gentlemen, we think this is the fairest and justifiable decision, and we can give this if there's limit to space and only some may go on. But ladies and gentlemen, Team Opposition also stated that this is not really fair to the other citizens, and we must give them a chance, and their alternative is much more of a fundamental solution in today's debate. But ladies and gentlemen, we have exactly 2 responses we'd like to give to Team Opposition. First response, if we just pick the citizens, we're going against to invest in much more dramatically, so we think that this is still unfair for the patriots and those who still have the qualified reasons. Second, ladies and gentlemen, there is limited space. If they pick just normal citizens with good personality and leadership, they are still going against the whole idea of other citizens and prioritizing them. So what significant difference does Team Opposition, Proposition have in today's debate? So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Madam Speaker, if you really want a society where there is going to be an increased chance of survival in the spaceship if the world ends tomorrow, well, their policy is not also mutually exclusive to ours, and they admit that our policy is still going to work in today's debate, we really want to propose in today's debate, and that is why I'd like to take this debate on. Thank you.
We tell you today's debate is about which side is going to make a better society, persistently and stably. Under a situation where only limited amount of people can ride the spaceship, I feel so proud and glad to stand as the opposition whip in this grand final to oppose to this bizarre, strange motion. So we say you, a persistent and a reproductive society, is not only prioritizing intelligence, but other characteristics should also be prioritized. And following by cases, we read that other factors such as personality or personalities should even be more prioritized than intelligence. We basically agree with their idea that intelligent people is important in some way, but we basically oppose to the idea of prioritizing intelligent people than any other standards such as personality or aptitude. We say it is extremely unfair and it's needless and unnecessary to always prioritize intelligent people all the time than other factors such as personality or aptitude. So before going on to the 2 clashes that I've identified in today's debate, I'd like to have one point of refutement to their point. What they basically said is that intelligent people also have leadership and good personality, so it does not matter. Well, basically, we think that they're still basically agreeing with the fundamental idea that other factors such as personality or aptitude is important in some way to maintain a healthy and a stable society. We think that they're fundamentally agreeing with some parts of the opinions of the side opposition. And secondly, we read that because they have basically fundamentally agree with the basic idea that other factors might be more important in these situations to make a persistent society. We read that we should take this point to the home. So I'm going to go directly to my clashes. First clash is about the justification of this policy. We have opposed fundamentally about the motion prioritizing intelligence. Firstly, we have explained the component of a happy society is not only intelligent. We tell you a persistent society is composed of cooperative and stable people. Society composed of only intelligent group like Nazi, Mussolini's party, which was located in the World War II, the origin of North Korea was actually all composed of people who was extremely intelligent. But look in the status quo and look in the past history, we can clearly check out that groups which was only composed by intelligent people have failed easily. And look at the cases of North Korea. We can clearly check out that North Korea is corrupted because of these unfair dictatorships. We think that's necessary for the government to take a new approach to try to not these situations happen, but try to make a stable and a persistent society. But actually we have no engagement why other factors such as personality and like these aptitude was important from the side opposition. We have no government, we have no engagement. That's the reason why we took the justification. They said that the justification that intelligent people know to drive these spaceships perfectly, so this policy is justified. However, then how don't we just prioritize other factors such as personality or aptitude more than intelligence, and only let 1 or 2 intelligent people ride, because we think that 1 or 2 intelligent people is enough to drive these spaceships. We think that the justification is extremely, really weak, and if we look at the further term, it will be the side opposition who's going to make a more persistent and a stable society. Secondly, clash is about who's going to make a better world at the end of the day. side government is going to make a society composed of egoistic people who throw nuclear weapons to each other in order to make them to be the only person who can survive and control people with their extreme authority. But under the stance of the side opposition, we're trying to make a stable society with people working cooperative, and we are going to also prioritize cases regarding to gender, because we think that different gender is also an important way to reproduce our children and to make our society more flourish and a better society. But we still heard no engagement about different gender and other factors. So at the end of the day, we need that it'll be the side opposition who's going to make a stable society and prevent these societies. Only people fight for their own profit and throw nuclear weapons to each other. That's the reason I'm really glad to oppose for this motion.
Today's debate, I believe that what both sides' goal was to make a society that is better for the citizens. The government side went in a way of prioritizing the citizens' intelligence. Well, firstly, for their policy, we questioned their justification. They started going in a way of like prioritizing these patriots, but we believe that they were unsure of their case. And also we stated that it is a principally wrong act to kill people just because they are dumb, and they had no engagement to that point. And in my leader of opposition's argument, I clearly stated why their policy is not principally right, which is why we believe that we take this point. And also we questioned their effectiveness. So how can they make a better society that is going to have people chosen by mostly the standard of intelligence? We believe that our policy is going to make a better society because we have people chosen by the equal standards of personality, the aptitudes, and the intelligence, and etc. and etc. So we believe that our society will be better. And for the opposition side, we were approaching in a way that could maximize happiness and create a better society. So they are going to make a society that is like North Korea 60 years ago. And we believe that that is very unjustifiable because they are making a society that is not democratic, because we believe that they are going to choose these people mostly by the intelligence. So they're going to choose these people by 90% of intelligence and 10% of personality and other subjects. And we believe that this policy is not going to make a happier society that will be fair for the people and that will have no corruption. And we believe that in our case, we are going to have a better society that will take the best people of the current society, which will be considered of all of those standards equally, of the personality, the aptitude, and many other categories. So because of these reasons, and because they had lack of engagement to all of our arguments, and because they had lack of retakes for all of our arguments, we believe that the opposition side should take this debate home.
As the reply, Speaker and I even organized today's debate and explained the reasons to why we think that we want today's debate. Let me state what was exactly flawed of what the opposition was just saying. If we classify as intelligent people, so why do they disagree with intelligence? And before even they land on the planet, these people are needed in this process, and that is what the government is stating. They also said that it was disqualified people, it was dumb to kill disqualified people, and they're killing those without leadership. We think that the opposition was flawed in these points. Now let me organize the points of what the government and the opposition was trying to state in today's debate. The government has fully defined about how there were patriots in this process. While the intelligent people can actually make the people to survive in their spaceship, we stated that there are government patriots who will make it able to lead to the next society and make a healthy society. We believe it is able to achieve the opposition's will in order to make a stable and healthy society. Now, the opposition proposed a counter policy, and that said that they will prioritize the people with better attitude and personality. Well, they kept on saying that it's much more important to make a healthy society. They didn't even engage in our policy in the part where we talked about patriots. And also, think Mandela is nice, has a good personality, leadership, also has leadership and intelligence. We think that there is no reason to why, even though a person has intelligence, there's no reason why the person does not have good personality. So, for these reasons, we believe that the government takes the debate home, and that is why I'm so proud to propose. Thank you.
저 이제 곧 폐회식하고 시상식이 진행될 예정이오니 자리에 착석해 계시면 되고요.